Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, She Sews Happiness. I'm Mary Ellen and this is a very late catch up with you. Obviously yesterday being Mother's Day, it was a little bit busy, so I didn't have a chance to create a vlog, but I thought I'd pop on today and just catch up with you about what I've been making and share with you some of the lovely fabrics and things that have arrived, and share some plans as to what I'm going to be doing with those. So yeah, as I say, Mother's Day yesterday, Henry and I wore our adorable matching outfits that I was sharing with you in one of my past videos. So I'll pop a little picture in for you to see. So this was a French terry fabric that was gifted to me by Minerva, and later on this evening, I say later on this evening, it's already after 8 o'clock. It's been a long day, nice day, but a long day. Yeah, so it was a fabric that was gifted to me by Minerva, and I made for myself the Colette Patterns Monetta dress, which, as you all know, if you come here regularly, is a staple in my wardrobe. And I made for Henry, again, a staple pattern that I make for him quite regularly, the Poppy and Jazz Strawberry Sweater. And those transfers that you see on the garments are from Freya Illustrates, who does create some fabrics and stuff like that as well, or the illustrations at least for those fabrics before they go off to print. But she has a whole collection of iron-on transfers, gorgeous birthday ones and things like that as well. So there's something there for every occasion. But I thought, given that it was Mother's Day, the little bears and that message of being together was particularly apt. And for the first few years, while I can get away with it, I'm absolutely going to be that twee. That's just who I am. And hopefully in the future, he'll forgive me for wanting to be that mom. So that is what we wore yesterday. And for St. Patrick's Day, I also made myself another dress. So as you know, again, if you're regular, I have been waxing lyrical about the Chalk and Notch fringe dress, and I've made quite a few of them. I wasn't able to show you a couple of the last versions that I made on because I hadn't worn them yet, so I hadn't had a chance to take a quick snapshot before I left the house. But I made one in a navy double gauze with lovely gold feathers on them, and it was beautiful. It's a gorgeous fabric that I love to sew with regularly. I find that while it's perfect for the spring and summer months, I wear double gauze all year round, layered with tights and cardigans and things, and I just thought I'd show you these versions so you can see how versatile the pattern is when you make it in different types of fabrics. So the double gauze, absolutely loved. I also made it in a cotton poplin, a Rose and Hubble heart print, which came in the February So Hayley Jane Classic subscription box, and it has a bit more structure. It's not just as floaty or as light, but it still really works. So I was sitting on Thursday evening and it was about 10 o'clock at night, and I realised I didn't have a green dress for St. Patrick's Day. Now, what self-respecting Irish woman would not have a green dress for Patrick's Day? So all of the green garments in my wardrobe are a little tight here. So I've had to make some new things, as you know. So I did whip up another fringe dress in a beautiful floral viscose, and I'll pop a picture in for you to see, which I purchased from Fleur. She was having an amazing 40% sale. So I think Kaylee had it running for over a week, and I picked up a couple of fabrics. I have another one here, which I'll show you later on as well. But yeah, I've really made the Chalk and Notch fringe dress now to death. I think that's 5 versions I've made this year already, and I can't promise that there won't be any more. But we'll see. We're going to take a break from it for now, but we will probably come back to it. So I actually came up to my craft room this evening with the intent of cutting out the pattern pieces for the Sew Over It Dorothy jacket, which is something I've been intending to make ever since Henry was born. I haven't got around to it yet because I just keep thinking it's such an involved project. do I have the mind space and the time, the opportunity to create it? I'm just going to have to make the time and the opportunity to create it. So I came upstairs thinking, yeah, I'll get the pattern. I had it printed off by Jenny Stitches, so Jenny, at Jenny Stitches I should say, in A0, because there wasn't a chance in hell I was piecing together all of the A4 pages. And yeah, so I came to my envelope and I was like, my envelope is really, really light. What have I done with the pattern? And I opened it up, and inside, you can see here, I've already cut it out. Now, to be honest, I have no recollection of having done that. I have no recollection what my measurements were when I did that. I probably did it a couple of days after I got home from hospital or something like that, and that's just where my brain, I don't know. I don't know what I've done. So the size, hopefully I'll have to do the measure check and see just where I am and how that corresponds to the pieces that I have cut out. I may have to print it and cut it out all over again. So that's where I am with that. I don't even trust myself anymore. So I have absolutely nothing on the sewing table at the moment. To be quite frank, I have everything on the tables in this room. Like, I mean, that side of the room is actually box after box after box of fabrics that I have purchased over the last, well, since Christmas. And I haven't got around to sewing any of them. So I need to go through all of those. As you can see, there's no shortage of fabrics being stored around this room. I do need to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb and be ruthless about what I need to keep and what I don't. I have all of my cross-stitching and embroidery and knitting and card making, paper craft stuff. It's just, there is a lot of stuff in this room. And while I sew in it 90% of the time, I do dabble in other things. So I just need to get a little bit more organized and maybe even get more storage into this room and rethink the layout and things like that. But that's a big job, and that's not going to be done between Henry's waking hours and his naps. So we'll have to see what can be done about that. But let me show you some of the things that have arrived over the last few days. First thing I'm going to share with you are a couple of patterns. So I very rarely buy paper patterns. I hate paper patterns. I can't be bothered tracing, and also they're not great usually for telling you the garment finished measurements and things like that. But there is a new range of patterns, relatively new, called Know Me, and I've been eyeing up some of them recently. And I saw this gorgeous cardigan on Instagram the other day and looked it up. And while I'm not going to make like a two-piece knitwear set, I do really like the little cardigan, and I think I will make one of those. I'm sure there are fabrics in my stash that I can do that with. And I didn't actually check when it arrived if it has finished measurements. It does have finished garment measurements, so I'm really happy about that. That's not something I'm used to having on, say, the vintage butterick patterns that I do delve into now and again, or at least I did, and we'll have to start making again in the near future. So that's going to make it much easier to create it. Yeah, absolutely lovely little pattern, and it's made designed by Elisa Threads, who I do follow on Instagram. The other pattern then is this absolutely lovely jacket. This is a design by the Corny Rainbow, whom I'm going to have to look up on Instagram, on social media, because I don't follow her. But I just absolutely loved that fit and flare design of this pattern, and it's ME2006 is the number, but I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. Now, I love both of these. I just think this is the version that is probably best for me living in Ireland where the weather isn't that reliable. And I bought this with the intention of using it to make this version in, if you recall, the waterproofed Liberty cotton that I purchased from New Craft House. So if you didn't catch that video where I was sharing some of my past buys last month, this is the fabric that I have in mind for making this pattern with. And I'll just show you quickly here So this cotton has actually been lined with a waterproof like plastic, which I'll just show you here. And so I thought that might be a practical make for me, living where I do. And that's now on the to-do list. Don't know when I'll get to it. I will toile this first because the last thing I want to do is take a very rare fabric that I won't be able to buy again and ruin it without doing the necessary work and the adjustments that's needed. So that's going to be a long-term project that I dip in and out of, I think, along with my Dorothy jacket. So as I was saying, and I was showing you there, the chocolate notch dress was made from that lovely green, gorgeous green floral viscose from Fleur. This is the other fabric that I purchased. So yeah, I love heavy check fabrics and flannels and brush cottons and things like that in the winter. But this is actually going to give me the same look, but in a much lighter fabric. So it's a gorgeous wine and navy check, and this is a viscose, so super light and super drapey. And I just thought that'll be perfect to give me that dark look that I like all year through, but be nice and light and comfortable for more summery months. And then I also bought a fabric from Sew Me Sunshine. Again, it seems to be every month I'm treating myself to something from Sew Me Sunshine, and I'll just have to look up the details for that one and share them with you, but I forget what you call it. I just loved this print so much, and I love this colour, a real kind of terracotta pink twinge, but it's got these beautiful like teapots and planters and vases, and then all these little dogs in there as well. There's even some birds, if you can see. So I just thought that was a beautiful fabric, and it was the print really that drew me to it. Being a dog owner, a dog lover, I guess that's where the appeal lay. So if they have any, I will pop the wee link down below so you know where you can go and purchase any of these if they are to your liking. And what else do I have here? So yeah, I have a wee box here of stuff that just arrived this morning from Stitch and Ink. Like some essential things, like dressmaker pencils and a corner edge turner. I've never actually had one of these little corner shapers, so I thought I'll pick one of those up. I tend just to use a pin when I'm pulling out my corners. I also purchased like a backup pair of scissors. So I absolutely love the dressmaking scissors I have, and I have noticed though recently that they have been getting just a little bit blunt with thicker fabrics. So I purchased a pair of backup scissors. So I now have a couple of pair of backup scissors so that I can send those ones away and have them sharpened because they're the ones that I prefer. And I also got some little woven labels. I haven't bought any in a while because I have so many of them that I haven't really needed to. But these are from Sarah Hart's, and there's quite a few different designs on the website. And the one that I have purchased are these, which just say, and they match my nails. I don't know if that's going to zoom in for you or not. It may not. They just say, "You are beautiful." And I think there is nothing wrong with a positive self-affirmation in our garments. And then I picked up as well this little Ecofero fabric while I was at it. And it's like a William Morris-esque print, but in really, really vibrant colours. And you never know, I could end up making a fringe dress out of it. I just love the colours. So I picked up a few meters of that as well. I think there's 2.5 meters there, which is enough to make a dress. And this morning I also got a lovely delivery from Minerva. So as part of the brand ambassador team, every month I do get a fabric, and I've got 2 fabrics actually this month. So the first one is this beautiful linen, and I just love this shade so much. It's so beautiful. It's slightly more muted actually than what you're seeing on the screen. It's got more of a mustard feel than a yellow feel. So I've got that because I absolutely love linen, and it's one of my staples for summer sewing. And my plans, which may change, is to sew up an Elodie dress. I think I've only made this pattern once previously, and I've always kind of intended to go back to it. I'll pop a picture in of the first time I made it if I can find it. Big if, because it was a while ago, like we're talking a year and a half, and I loved it. I just didn't know enough at the time about getting the fit just right. So I think there's a couple of wee changes that I'd need to make to this to make it fit me the way I want it to, but that is tentatively the plan I've got for this lovely linen fabric. The other fabric that I've chosen from Minerva is something that I would never really have chosen before. I just had a fabric in my stash that I was wondering what to do with, and when I saw this on the selection, I thought, well, do you know what? I'm going to try it and see how it works. So this is a luxury, that's how they brand it, is a luxury viscose satin, and I think the colour that I have opted for is cherry, which you can see why. But this is so silky, so beautiful, so vibrant that it almost cries out to be made into something in its own right. But I kind of have the intention of using it as a lining, as an under fabric for this. So I will have shown you this previously. This is a flocked heart organza, which I got in the Valentine's drop from Rainbow Fabrics Kilburn. So it's just this black shiny fabric, and I thought, well, we'll get a shiny layer for underneath as well. So if I just pull this out for a moment and grab, because I haven't done this yet, and grab my viscose satin and overlay, just so you see, I thought I'd make a nice like party dress with this. And the one that I'm actually thinking I'm going to make is Cosido Studios Lima dress, and it features these beautiful puff sleeves, and I figured I might just leave the puff sleeves, you know, made in the organza themselves, and then just line the bodice and the skirt. So we'll see how we go with that plan, but that's the plan for those fabrics anyhow. And I think that's all the dressmaking fabrics I've got. The other thing that I have here is a kit. I actually got two of these. It's a kit to make a book cushion. So this is something I've picked up for little Henry, and I'll just show it to you. So in here there is a panel, which I haven't even opened yet. Let me just get it opened up. What self-respecting librarian wouldn't want to make a book cushion for their child? So you can see here, little motif, little teddy bear. It's just a beautiful white and blue panel. Let's see, the instructions and everything are on this. I actually got this via Sewing Street. I saw it on their Facebook, and while I'd never watched the channel or anything like that before, I did tune in just to get this one. So if I just show you quickly, there is the little panel, that is the front of the cushion, and there's the little bear reading his little book, and I just thought absolutely adorable. So I'm going to do that, do a little applique, do some satin stitching and a wee bit of quilting. I'm not a quilter, I'll never be a quilter. I don't have the patience to cut things out that way. But yeah, I just thought that would be a lovely little project to make whenever I don't have a lot of time and I just want to get my sewing fix. I actually got two, so I got this one, the blue, with this gorgeous fluffy fabric to go with it, the navy, and I purchased it as well in a different colorway, so like beige and tan, with this cream, to make one for a friend who has also had a little boy. I thought that would be a nice present for him too. And the last wee bit of fabric I've got here was, while I was online shopping for these things, I noticed that they stocked Riley Blake fabrics, and I'm a big fan of Riley Blake, but sometimes I find that the collections I really love, which tend to be like literature themed or something like that, are really hard to get in the UK, and I can never really warrant spending the money and customs and postage and stuff to get little bits of fabric from America. that are not for dressmaking, that are just for making tiny little projects. So this is the one here that I had my eye on a long time ago, and it is Little Women. And I literally wanted this to make like a book cover for myself, and maybe like a little iPad holder. So I managed to get some of that while I was on the website, and I was thrilled. So thrilled might actually have been an understatement, because I did spend about an hour and a half one night just trying to locate it close to home, and was unable to do so. So that was really good. And there we are. That's my roundup of what I have been making, planning, buying, and hopefully I'll get around to tidying this room out and feeling a little bit more inspired to do some making. Probably at the weekend. I'll just really focus on that spring cleaning mindset and clear out as much as I possibly can. I have like boxes full of fabric offcuts and scraps and things too. They need to be gone through or donated. Something needs to be done with those, and hopefully that will create a little bit less clutter, more space. But yeah, we'll see how far I get. I'll go and tidy this up now at least. So I always create a mess when I'm recording my vlogs, and have my dinner, and then edit this video and hopefully get it up tonight. If I don't, it'll be tomorrow. So thank you again for tuning in. Let me know if there's any of those things that you don't recommend I make. Let me know about this. I'm not totally sold on this combination, so I would kind of value your input if you think that's going to work or not. But yeah, I'll catch up with you all soon, hopefully with more productivity to show for myself. And I'm going to see if I can remember when I cut out that pattern for the Dorothy jacket, because I'm flummoxed and I don't like being flummoxed. So I hear little paws outside the door, which means the dogs are telling me it's tea time. So I'll be gone, and I will check in soon. Hopefully you're all doing really well. See you soon. Bye bye.